been 4 months since Sandino Moses was sworn in as councilman for North Charleston's District 3 area. He tells me what he's working on for that area and gives me the latest on whether or not Sea Fox boats will come to North Charleston for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. North Charleston Councilman Sandino Moses, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Councilman, you obviously are the councilman for District 3, which covers.
Yeah. Oh, where does it cover?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it covers Green Ridge Road, Otranto, and University.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so obviously you've been on council since January. So tell me, what's new? What's now with District 3?
Well, right now we're with the district. We're looking at the hot topics are the I-26 corridor, noise wall. Hot topics in District 3 is the refurbishing of the retention ponds, and obviously, this is the same old song. Basically, making sure we improve with crime and moving that number down lower, and just getting real connected with the members of the community.
With that retention pond, what is that flooding plan? Because that particular pond is soon going to be a flooding issue for you all.
Yeah, it is, and we're North Charleston, city of North Charleston. We're working with the Revere group, and they're doing they've done a comprehensive study of all the retention ponds, and we should be getting that the results from that back at the end of June. And when we get that back, the members of the community, members of administration, we're going to sit down and we're going to find out ways and solutions to solve that problem.
And how long has this problem going on?
It's been going on for a few years now, maybe like 3 years, about 3 years.
Wow.
But I'm just coming in, and we're flooded with all the issues that we have, and we definitely want to make sure we work hard to make sure that we solve those problems and find the funding for those retention bonds.
How much funding do you need for that right now?
Well, we looked at some of the early estimates from the Revere group, ranging between $700,000 to $1 million.
Wow. Now, if you can't get some of that funding from obviously the city's budget, where else can you get it from?
We obviously can work toward, like, for example, House Representative J.A. Moore. He's the House Rep in our area. Next up, we can reach out to Charleston County Council, and which is obviously Councilman Henry Darby. We're in his district, and if we need to move up a little higher, we can reach out to Senator Dion Tedder.
Yes, sir. Now, when do you, after this particular those study results come back, Councilman Moses, when do you expect the construction or the refurbishing of these retention ponds to take place?
Well, that good question. That really depends on how quick we can get the funds. But it's a 911 situation, because obviously it rains all the time. That's everyday. That's something that happens in everyday life, and we want to make sure we we want to accommodate and help out members in our residents as much as possible. As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. And I know obviously Monday it rained. So how did that affect that particular retention pond?
Say that again now?
Yeah, I know it rained on Monday. So how did that affect that particular retention pond? Did it?
Matter of fact, I tell you what, we got my members of my community. They are very, very on top of reporting what's going on with the floods and so on and so forth. And it's the reports that we got, that I received. It wasn't flooded, but it's kind of it getting close. Right. It's getting close. I mean, due to erosion and so on and so forth, so many years. Yeah.
Where exactly is the erosion near that retention pond?
The erosion is actually, from the bottom of it. Wow. From the bottom of it, and some of the early suggestions from the Revere group is to, like, for example, we could dredge. We could dredge the ponds and make them a little deeper.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you go that route, Councilman, how much would that cost the city of North Charleston?
And again, the early results that we got, the estimates from the Revere group,
Yes,
is between 700 and a million, and 700,000 and $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you talk about obviously that being a 911 situation. You talked earlier obviously about crime in the area. So between the time you came into office to now, where exactly is the crime going down in, and where are the hot spots in your district?
Well, the hot spots in my district is on the old Tranto. On Tranto Road.
Wow.
And then it has been a hot spot for a long time. And one of the things that I'm making sure that I'm working toward the schedule and doing is to have a ride along with our neighborhood policemen. Ride along with the neighborhood policemen. Go out, meet the people. The residents in my district, and this form a better relationship with them. Let them understand that you can trust the police, and they're there to do a job, and that's to keep everyone safe.
Keeping everyone safe, Councilman. So where can you put, I guess, more lighting in your area to combat some of these crimes in those hot spots?
Near the hot spots are near Fairwind apartments, some of the apartment complexes in that area. Those are the hot spots, and one of the things that I want to do when I meet up in the future with some of the community leaders is to go back to what used to work in the past in other places, like neighborhood crime watch. Put up the 1-800 anonymous number that you can call anonymously, and we just need a little bit. I think we need a little more community based action in it as well. So that's why I want to make sure we connect the community with this problem as well to help solve the problems.
What community action plan initiatives would be ideal for the district right now?
And again, that neighborhood. Well, okay, so a gentleman in our neighborhood. He's a younger guy. He's always working in the community, knocking on doors, being aware. So what I want to do is create a neighborhood crime watch council, right, and name someone as a president with that council, vice president with that council, and just have some structure in the neighborhoods working together, and working with the community leaders like Mr. Dominic Meacham and community leaders like Pastor Thomas Dixon, and this is really communicating with the leaders in our community, and everybody working together on the same page.
Without that council right now, Councilman, what exactly is the structure there in your district as far as trying to keep crime out?
Well, and again, that's one of the challenges that we have to face. That's why again I want to make sure we create this council, because right now we have no structure in place as far as crime awareness. I mean, our policemen they doing the best job that they can do, and we just want to rely on them. Rely on the policemen and the people in the community. Now,
with that growth in your area, if I'm not mistaken, Councilman, do you foresee a substation coming in your district in the near future?
There have not been talks about a substation. However, being that the crime is kind of rising a little more, that would be an option that I would have no problem looking at and presenting to Mayor Burgess and the police force.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me turn to something else that is very controversial here in the city.
Controversial. Oh, okay. That's what we do. Okay, go for it.
CFOX. As you know, just outside of downtown Charleston, a large swath of waterfront land was actually donated to Charleston County Parks for public benefit. Instead will be potentially becoming an industrial site for the benefit of CFOX boats. 5 proposals were submitted to the Park Commission for development of the park, 3 of which would have preserved the entire site for public use. One would actually have invested in the transformative, that is, $500 million to develop around 1,000 much-needed missing middle housing units and preserve the entire waterfront, intricate parks, and athletic fields for the public. And the last was from CFOX, who intends to build a massive manufacturing plant and boat stack on that particular site. And I know, obviously, at the last council meeting, you say, hey, let's put a hold on this for 30 days. As As we sit here right now, Councilman, why would the city of North Charleston get into a fight with another municipality over a deal like this?
I wouldn't look at it as a fight with another municipality. What I would look at, I'm looking at it as this: it's a subject that we need all the information before we make a decision. That's why that's one of the reasons why I tabled it, because I just want to get as much information I can get from CFOX, get as much information I can get from the members of the community, and then I think we can make a better decision in the near future.
I know that the information is kind of limited right now, but why would the city risk a lawsuit over spot zoning?
Well, when you say lawsuit, anything could be a potential lawsuit, right? I have not gotten any information. I've not received any information saying that it's going to be a lawsuit with the rezoning. But if a lawsuit does happen, I mean, lawsuits happen all the time. We have an outstanding counsel, legal counsel with the city of North Charleston, and if it were to come to that point, I'm sure our legal counsel would do the best job to solve that problem.
And I know you have the in-house legal counsel, but will city council actually consider hiring an independent legal counsel on this issue if it goes to that route?
Well, I definitely can't speak on that. I haven't communicated with our counsel here now. But again, I'm sure they'll make the best decision whether we can handle it or not, or if it needs to go to another level. I'm sure they'll make the best decision on that.
And I know the only thing standing in the way is the required zoning change to the heavy industrial in an area bordered only by an elderly rehab facility, a mental health facility, and a low-income apartment complex. Has anyone in the city been able to get in contact with the EPA since this idea came along?
I haven't gotten any contact with anybody, and I don't know if anyone else has got in contact with them.
Now, if this was planned to be a park, according to the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Commission, Councilman, why didn't it become a park?
Say that again?
Why didn't it become a park?
Why didn't it become a park?
Yes, sir.
Well, here's the deal. The Charleston County Park and Recreation, that's a separate entity. That's a separate entity with the city of North Charleston. So, what we got to make sure we do, ongoing, any places, let's say, for example, green space or any place in the near future where parks, the community want the parks to be inserted. I think we just got to do, a better job of working hand in hand with the Charleston County Park and Recreation.
What is that relationship like now?
I think it's a good relationship. It's a good relationship. We're in the same county. We have the same vested interest. That's helping the community, providing any kind of happy space for the children in the community, families in the community. After they get off work, they want to just hang around and have a good time. And I think we share the same interests.
Now, I know, Councilman, the city of North Charleston has built and rebuilt so much in the last few years. So why is this a hot pocket now that CFOX plans to build a plant and park there? And will they actually give the city of North Charleston a paycheck to invest in other things around that area?
Well, one of the reasons why I think it's a real hot topic is because the members of the community and also a lot of people that don't live in that community, they feel, for some reason, real close to the issue. And whenever, a lot of people in the community, especially the residents in that district 10, they feel real close and invested to it. That's their job to voice their opinion.
Yes, sir. And I know the zoning change is not supported by the comprehensive land use plan. So if that's the case, why bring this up for a vote?
Well, it's some things I think have gone on in the past that kind of got us here, right? And I don't want to speak on those situations, but I think one of the greatest things God has ever given us was the ability to look at the past and look at people's past mistakes and some of the great things that they did, and I'm sure. All my council members, we're going to come together and make the best decision that we think we can make for the city of North Charleston.
What past mistake is in standing in the way of this?
I don't think it's any right now at this point in time. I don't think it's any past mistakes right now that's stopping us from moving forward. It's just pretty much you know how votes go. Everybody gotta come together. Everybody gotta agree, and unfortunately, everybody don't always agree on the same thing. But us as councilmen, I look at us and we look at things in high integrity. And we talk to the people in the community. We talking to both sides. Yeah. We hearing both sides, and I think that's what's most important before we move on and make a decision.
Now, how would the city actually update the comprehensive land use plan to actually accommodate this project and other projects in the future?
What I think we're going to do, we're going to look at the direction that we went here. Is starting with zoning, and just coming together with zoning officials and just work with them and listen to input from the community and just make the best decision that we can make.
Now, I know the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Commission signed a 90-year lease with CFOX. So when did the city actually see this lease?
I don't know the information. I don't know when. I can't really speak on that information right now. When did the city actually saw the lease? Yes, sir. But again, hey, look, I work for the city. I believe in the city of North Charleston, and I'm sure we again make the best decision that we can make.
Speaking of decisions, Councilman, how do we know if there will be any restrictions on this particular project or this building?
With
CFOX.
Oh well, with a project this big, there are always going to be stipulations and guidelines, and I'm sure, for example, if CFOX get the votes, I'm sure they're going to follow all the guidelines to what they agreed to in the beginning with this project.
Do you believe right now, as we sit here, if CFOX has all the votes?
I can't. I can't answer that question. I cannot answer that question. I don't know whether or not they get all the votes or not. And again, yes, I tabled it last month, and not knowing, obviously tabling, we didn't see who voted yay or nay against it or with it. So we're just gonna have to see in about another couple of weeks.
Now, do we have any information on the amount of space that CFOX would actually occupy?
I saw the number. I saw the number the other day, but I can't recall it right now offhand. But we have the blueprint has already been issued out, and if proposed, if there was, but it's not going to be the entire space. It's probably going to be, I think, my understanding, like half of the space.
Would affordable housing be ideal for that space?
I would think so. I mean, that's the plan. If the votes go another way, I'm sure they can put some. That's a good space for affordable housing. Now, whether or not yes, the houses, let's say for example, the houses is built over there, whether or not the house is going to be affordable, that's remain to be known. But at the beginning right now, if the votes go the opposite way, from what they're telling us, the house, they will be affordable, but we don't know yet.
Do you want to see that? Do you want them to have subsidized housing on that space, or do you want them to have workforce space, housing space?
Well, if the votes go opposite, you got to look at what people can afford in the city of North Charleston, and the residents in the city of North Charleston cannot afford $400,000 houses. They can't afford $500,000 houses, $600,000 houses. So ideal, I guess it would be good if it was half and half.
Okay.
Right. if I was in charge, which I'm clearly not. Okay. However, I think it'll be ideal to serve the different classes in our community. Yeah. So yeah.
And I want to get back to you on that the next time. But what other amenities do you see CFOX actually providing with all of this?
Well, again, what is up? This public information. They already, said that they're going to build a huge park out there, and that's a big hot topic out there for the people in the community. I know they're gonna have supposedly, reportedly, they're gonna have some boat landings out there as well. And as we know, from what the information we're receiving, people in that district, they gotta drive all the way out to Wando to go to the boat landing. So if they provide a boat landing there, that would be like golden for the people in that community to have access to boat landings.
With that CFOX plan, Councilman, did DHEC have a chance to see this blueprint or plan?
I can't answer that question whether or not they've looked at the plan yet, but I'm sure that if in the near future, and again, if they get the votes, I'm sure DHEC will look at this, look at the area.
And speaking of the area, as you know, the brownfield cleanup is another issue there. So what exactly will happen with that?
Well, we got to leave that up to the people that DHEC. I mean, whoever look at it, we definitely got to look. They definitely have to look at that. And we just leave that in the hands of the experts with that. Yeah.
Now, as you know, that property has to be cleaned up before anybody can take over.
Yeah.
And I know it costs us apparently $5 million to do that. So does the city have enough funds to pay for these for the cleanup and actually clean up the property?
Well, we just did our budget, and our budget is already in place, right? So from my understanding, I know to clean that place up, and again, I'm prefacing, if CFOX get the votes, I'm sure they would have to play some type of part in invested interest in cleaning that area up.
And as you know, the Magnolia project is actually coming towards you all.
Yeah.
So how does that have any bearings on this particular project?
Well, and again, and I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again. And again, if the votes go the opposite way, Magnolia, they're going to have opportunity to build over there, and I'm sure they're going to look at cleaning up the land. I'm sure they're going to look at all the possibilities and avenues that they got to take to make sure that they do the right thing and have the land clean for the community.
And I hope to get you back on in the fall so we can talk about the crime in District 3 and some other things that you're working on as far as projects. But for now, North Charleston Councilman Sandino Moses, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. Look forward to speaking with you again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.